Hi, this is Pastor Ken Atwood again with the Word Never Heard. And we've been studying lessons learned from the life of Christ. And so often, what we've been trying to do here is dig deep, you guys, and talk about not the things that everybody talks about, not the things that people glisten from just sliding over the scripture, but really get into what had to happen and what was necessary in the internal workings to understand the lesson, the word that was actually never heard. So today we want to talk about leadership. And I want to reference two different instances where Jesus brought this to bear in such a clear manner. Although his whole life was about leadership, there are a couple things that I want to bring out to describe and that we can learn how leadership really works, how we can really get to the core of what it takes to be a leader. Well, the first thing that comes to mind is when Jesus was recruiting, for lack of a better word, disciples. And he used a couple words that were very simple, but very impactful. And there's a reason why they had an impact. Follow me. Whole sentence. Follow me. And people stopped what they were doing. They stopped their job, how they fed their family, and they heard this word and for some reason were compelled to follow him. Nobody knew what it meant to be made fishers of men. That wasn't a thing. Men fishing. This is what happened. The authority that was in his voice by him knowing fully himself, him recognizing that he was created in the image and likeness of God. The Bible uses a word called similitude, which is to say he was just like God here on earth. Recognizing that and speaking in that authority caused it identify with the God that he spoke to. It identified with the men that he spoke to. They recognized that authority and they followed. What about the God in you? What about the authority that has already been given you? What about the knowledge and recognition of who you are? We talked about this in earlier lessons. We talked about the fact that recognition of who we are gives us an authority, and we have to be willing to follow and exert that authority. Now, another area that constitutes the makeup of leadership that Jesus demonstrated is, you notice in every instance where Jesus was present, he never sought to be in the front of the room. He understood what it was to follow. He understood what it was to take instruction. As we mentioned earlier, he took instruction from Mary at the wedding. He understood what it was, even though he was Jesus the Christ, he understood what it was to follow. You cannot lead without a clear understanding of what it is to follow. Your authority does not grow if you don't understand how to follow. I don't want you to be like everybody else, but I need you to understand there is a pattern. That's the whole point of what we're talking about, guys. He's the prototype. If you can't follow the prototype, you can't get the prototype's results. So on today, I want to talk about leadership and how it's going to work in your life. You recognizing who you are and operating in the authority of who you are. Not with the permission of another individual, but in the authority of who you are, who God made you to be. There are things that are in you that are in no one else. There are things that you have to give that no one else can give. There are paths that you can lead us on that nobody else can lead us but you. But you got to identify that, recognize that, have confidence in that. And when you speak, it's the difference between saying, follow me and follow me. I'm going to ask you guys to follow me. Follow, read, understand, dig into these scriptures. Get a clear understanding of the word that was never explained by everybody else, but the word that is meant for you, the word that was never even heard is here. Leadership takes those two parts. It takes your authority, but it takes your understanding, willingness of the path to be followed. You got to be able to follow the path to lead a path. So on today, this is really the word never heard. Leaders got to know how to be followers. And if that's not already in you, get it in you. This is how you implement the word never heard in your life. Now listen, guys, I still need you to do me a favor. Work with me. I want you to help this channel grow. I need you guys to subscribe and hit the little notifications bell so you'll know every time we put out a video. And then I'm going to need you to leave a comment. Tell me how this is impacting your life. Tell me if you have any questions. Tell me what things that you have been disturbed about or wondered about in the Bible, in the life of Christ, along the subject matter. Tell me if what I'm saying is making sense to you and having an impact in your life. I'm going to comment back. I'm going to respond to you guys every single time. Try me. Okay? Then the next thing I need you guys to do is to share this video, man. Share it with somebody who you think will impact their life. Share it with somebody who needs to understand how to walk in their godhood. These are the words that are never heard for you. And I will see you next time.